y'all doing today? Thanks for tuning in. You with Lavelle Still, aka Wildcard. I mean, today I want to talk to you about my addiction and how far I have came. Um, I have a movie life. You feel me? To be honest with you, I know everyone always says that you should make a book. You're a movie. Woo. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm from the San Francisco to the Bay to Sacramento to LA to Sacramento to LA to Sacramento to LA. I was raised pretty much in LA, Carson Compton area. I went to catch Crenshaw Charter High type school. You feel me? But yeah, all my life I pretty much known gangbangers. Never was into that, but it was definitely affiliated. Dark Side for the Crib, 6-0. You know what I'm saying? Mostly all of the people like that we went to school with. I actually went to school with you feel me, Pac-Man the Gunner, and that's Nip's child pretty much. For me, not like child like that, but he signed to Nipsey's record label. So I seen all types of things. Been through a lot. In LA, I had to grow up fast. I never thought I was gonna make it past 21 or 18, to be honest with you. But a couple years ago, maybe about 5, 6 years ago, I started. I was always like partying and turning to the drugs and shit like that. But the 12 years I was in a relationship, and that had ended. That my grandma had died and everything. I was taking care of her on hospice and all that. I had to move my shorty that was out here because I had everything going on. I was working at Roseville Toyota. You feel me? That was also how I got addicted and introduced to certain drugs. Feel me? Because I was working like 18-hour shifts. I was doing this crazy stuff, so I was always kind of dabbling in it. For me. But once my grandma died, I had to come back home. I had to give up my apartment and everything like that. Send my shorty back to LA, and then I had to come and take her, my grandma, with my mom and my grandpa. So, really, my grandpa kind of introduced me to narcos and pills and shit. I had a headache. I think I was probably about 17, 16. He gave me two yellows, narcos or whatever. He said, take this, you feel good, your headache will be gone. For me, I actually ended up throwing up. And for some reason, the yellow ones just used to have me oozy. But then I started kind of taking his shit and taking my grandma's stuff, unfortunately, and was getting hooked. And you feel me? And my grandma was also on big time medication because she was on hospice. So started taking a little bit of that. She had a bunch of narco, got patent and all that shit. I was dabbling in that, morphine and all different types of shit. I started dabbling in, and then my relationship wasn't going good with my shorty, my 12-year, person I thought was gonna be the love of my life, was not going well, wasn't going good. And then my grandma was passing, and I'm sitting here taking care of her, pretty much like a night home stay nurse. You feel me? She had all different types of stuff. She was going through antibiotics, and you had to flush her system out and give her the antibiotics with a bag and everything like that. And I had to do a little class to learn all that stuff. You have to just suction out mucus and things like that because she had a lot of phlegm and mucus, and a bunch of that stuff stems with mucus. Like it all stems from how you eat, and then when mucus gets introduced into the body, it just creates a whole bunch of shit. So that's a little segue, but yeah. So things weren't doing well, and I was really just starting popping the pills. Um, Fast forward, I kind of was uh, didn't really go to the hospice yet, but I started dabbling in the blues, and the blues were kind of legit. They were pretty much the perk 30s. It didn't. It happened a while ago. I want to say probably about 4 or 5 years ago. They started getting impressed with fentanyl, and I didn't even know it. So I was still trying to take the blues, still up in the blues and stuff like that. But it was to a point where I didn't even know I was comatose. I didn't even know I was out of it. Like my girlfriend at the time, videos were surfing of me just all slumped, passed out. Didn't believe him. Didn't I said you're crazy? Nah, you feel me? I was getting so high when I took the stuff. I didn't even know I took the stuff, and ended up getting all comatose and all fucked up. It ended up being laced with fentanyl. And then I kind of went on a little binger with fentanyl when I found out. With a homie, Aaron, and my God rest his soul, we were kind of getting him for a low, and we kind of fell into him for a little bit. Um, Fast and forward, my grandma had died and everything like that. At this point, I'm a full blown addict. Pawning shit, selling shit, um, knew it ended up being fentanyl. So now we're searching for the fentanyl, right? And I'm searching for the blues that have fentanyl in it, and getting real jacked up, messed up, man. It was to a point where I almost died a couple times. My homeboy actually ended up dying. I went to a program. I didn't go to a program, but I said this is enough, and I ended up actually going to a methadone clinic. I had to go through withdrawals, and those withdrawals were the hardest. So my mom was just like, "Hey, maybe you can get on something to taper off, whoop, whatever." So I actually ended up going through the withdrawals for a couple weeks, bedridden, and my whole body ached. Couldn't really eat. Just a bunch of shit was coming out of me because I was constipated for so long. Was just so tired. My back was hurting. Everything was hurting. You feel me? The only thing I saved my life pretty much was me crawling to the showers and baths. Shit, that soothed me so much. And then I got to a point where I was scared I was gonna get back on them. So I ended up going to the methadone clinic, and I've been clean ever since. But I know how it is, man. You have to want help though, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it got worse before it got better. Sometimes you have to reach the lowest of the low, and 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 just come back from that. Have a comeback story. There has to be a little bit within you who wants that though. You can't force nobody to do clean. And a lot of people always think they could take credit for the work you did, like loved ones and all this, and whoop whoop. Oh, I got you clean. You would not. No, no, you didn't do the work. I did. So I don't like people that try and take the credit for what you've done. Yes, they might have helped you. Yes, they might have pushed you, but it takes for you to do the work, and you have to want to get clean and whatnot. So I'm still kind of on the methadone. I'm gonna taper off eventually. I've been on it for about 4 years now. I could talk about the side effects in another video. It's not too bad. I get to a point where I could take a month home, and I just go back every month and re-up, because essentially that's what I'm doing right now. They're my drug, my drug, my drug. Feel me? Like now I gotta go re-up with them. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's like you gotta ask yourself, like, which one is the worst of the worst, though? Like, obviously, fentanyl is worse. Um, but essentially, I just traded it for another drug. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm still going through problems because technically I switched it for another drug. But I've been stable, or I'm trying to get stable. It always been to a point too where I can never hold a job. I mean, if I did, I would always, my mouth would get me in trouble, or other people's mouth would get me in trouble. People would just, for some reason, I don't know if it's because I'm nice or whatever, but they would just test me, and kind of, I guess, could tell that I was weak, and they probably didn't want me working there because it was to the point where I was working so fast and doing so things because I'm on drugs, you feel me? Or actually, I was on methadone, but it still had me moving fast and doing things, and people would try and tell me to slow down, you're working too fast, and then they try to, it just gets combative, and then they get to a point where, like, we gotta get rid of this guy, you feel me? And I got to a point where I wanted to be the jack of all trades because I thought if I learned more, I'll be more valuable and they'll pay me more. No, that never ends up happening. I had to learn that I had a problem with self control. Sometimes I would be the cause of why I would get fired. It's like self sabotage in a sense. Maybe I had a lot going on and I wanted a way out, and I would do something crazy and I would get fired or whatever. So you gotta really, my advice for you is just heal with all your trauma. From all your childhood trauma, that shit could come back to haunt you. You just have to heal. You just have to learn yourself. You have to still have love for yourself. Not do any of these drugs. Sometimes it could just be because you're bored. Sometimes it could be because you have ADD. Sometimes it could be because a balance is off and you've been doing the drug so long that your iron or something could be low. You feel me? So sometimes it just takes a full body detox for you to get on subs, or for you to get on methadone, and for you to just know where to go and where to get the help. Some people don't have the knowledge, or where to go, or don't know how to get help, don't want the help, but you have to want it within yourself, and you're the one who has to do the work. Don't tell people trying to take credit for what you do. Getting off drugs was one of the hardest things I had to do in my life. A lot of times, I kind of have mixed feelings about it because they say that it's illness, it's mental, it's this, it's that, and I feel like that's a cop out sometimes. You have to want to change. You have to want to get help. Sure, yeah, some people cannot control it at all. I understand that. But I got off of it. So can you. Even though I'm still learning and I'm still like have a long way to go, it's been so much better for me. I've had my first child, and everything's going pretty well. But baby mama and me aren't doing too well. So basically, I'm just focused on wanting more for me and my family and my loved ones. And I never really knew my purpose. Um, and I'm finding that out. And I'm finding out more about myself and learning out things and learning things and what not to do and what to do. And I'm still going through life. I'm 32 years old. At some point, I just never really thought I'd be alive to this point, so I didn't really do anything or plan for anything because I thought I would be dead. But here I am, you feel me? And I almost died so many times. Like, obviously, I'm here for a reason. God has me here for a reason. Even if it's just sharing my testimony and I save one person, that's fine with me, you feel me? But I just thought I had to tell my story, get it out, let you know that if I could do it, you can too. Yes, we can't compare. It could be harder for you or it could be easier, but you have to want it. You have to begin within yourself. I think it's all about loving yourself because if you were to love yourself, you probably wouldn't be taking these drugs or be wanting to die. Sometimes it's just figuring out what's unbalanced in taking medication or whatever it may be. I'm more on the holistic approach. I don't really believe in popping pills and doing all that, but if you need it for a while, you need it. Like, especially if it makes you feel better. Some people say, I don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel like they're a whole different person. That's what I liked about it. I wasn't thinking about stuff and whatnot. I was able to turn it off and shut down, but then some people could end up getting worse with that medication and they don't know who to tell or who to talk to. Sometimes you have to just go through several medications and just keep on trying, but then at some point you may get discouraged. But just keep on trying something that worked for you. Have somebody you can confide in and talk to and tell. And if it gets worse, maybe they need to pull you off of that medication. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to taper off drugs. But you need to start having hobbies. You need to start reading. You need to stop being bored. It's all about just being productive and proactive and not just staying at home. If you're a homebody, that's cool, but sometimes you have to force your way out of it because you could be the type of depressed where you're not getting haircuts and you don't want to get out of bed. Some people wouldn't think that's that bad, right? But it could lead to being way more depressed. And if you ever thought when you clean your room or take showers or you get that haircut, you feel so much better, right? But some people don't realize, hey, damn, I think I have a problem with depression. I think I have a problem with this, because they don't know themselves. So I'm a firm believer in learning out about yourself, learning what works for you. Do your research on certain things. If you have anxiety, if you have a depression, tap in, look at it, hear people's stories, figure out what works for them. What works for them may not work for you, but you have to go through trial runs. You have to test it out, and whatever makes you better, stick with it, man. It's gonna be okay. You can get past it. I'm tired of a lot of people being fake on social medias and things like that, making it seem like they're having a time of their lives. It don't matter how much money you have. That does not make you happy. Some people could be poor, be with their families and their loved ones, and be the happiest people in the world. Some I really admire homeless people because they have no bills, they have nothing. They beat the system. They beat the matrix because they're so happy and they're comfortable and when you introduce all these other things and jobs and bills and things like that, it gets so overwhelming for certain people, and that's why some people just choose to be on the street. They may not be on drugs, they may not be on this, but they want to live that homestead or lifestyle that will make them less stress free and be more on the hippie type and whatnot. And I understand that. I'm getting that now. um, but if you need help, there's a lot of stuff out there. You may not know who to go to or what to go to or what programs, but there's so much out there to help people in need. But I'm working on this channel so that I could start a nonprofit organization that could help build mobile tiny homes that can get homeless out of the cold and everything. There's a couple people that are doing that out there already, and I commend them, and I'm glad they're doing it for people. I would like to be one of those people too. So right now I'm just focused on telling my story, telling people what I aim to do and what I want to do. hope that it gets to following and subscribers and everything so that I could start giving back to the community and let them know that if you have PTSD, if you have mental issues, if you're homeless or whatever, there's still people that care. There's still people that want to see you do well, lift you up, and I don't have to know you to care for you. I think that's part of God's work too, and that's a whole nother topic that we could get off into. But yeah, I'm here to do God's work essentially, and I believe that's why all the handful of times that I should have died, I didn't because I'm here to share my testimony and I'm here to help you guys out. So I'm been doing this for a little while now, and I feel like I found my purpose. And if I could just reach one person, I would love that. I would. It would be honest, and it would be so dope for me. So I hope. Sorry for going on a tangent. That's pretty much my story. And I'm still working on things. It's not. It's never fully going to be better, right? But you have to just keep on working on things and realize, okay, I am an addict. And you might think that if you call yourself an addict, it's the junkie shooting up and it's the worst of the worst. That's not the case. There's levels to it, man. You have to, but that's the first step is agreeing with that concept, even though you could be even though it all puts you on the same level of the person shooting up versus snorting, versus tasting pills, everyone is on the same level. You feel me? Once an addict, always an addict. An addict is an addict. It doesn't matter if they're snorting, taking pills, or shooting up, or whatever. If it's heroin, fentanyl, whatever, coffee, it could be tobacco. You're an addict. You feel me? Like if you shop, like you feel me. So there's different stages, bro. So don't take all this in. You feel me? And just want to change. Sometimes it takes people to get to the worst of the worst to make a change. You got to find out if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your kids or do it for that loved one that cares. You got to remember we're not only hurting ourselves too, we're hurting other people. You know. So you stay tuned in. Hope this helps you. Subscribe and follow so that you can learn more about my life and you can. I'm gonna start doing documentaries on homeless just to get to learn people around here in the Sacramento area. And yeah, man, I'm just trying to start this nonprofit to give back and help. And why are we helping pets versus real people on the street? You know what I'm saying? And not to say we shouldn't be helping pets, but there's real people suffering out there, and some people have a bigger heart for people, for pets and things like that. They'll see a cat in the cold and take them in their house. But if you see a person in the cold, do you think they're gonna do that? No. So something's a little backwards. You feel me? Don't get me wrong. I have a soft spot for the animals and things too, like that. But why are they more important than people? You know. So I love you guys. Stay tuned. Take care. I hope you guys are here to start seeing more from me and showing your support. Stay tuned.